presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Big Ten champions, your Oregon Ducks.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
We've got a lot of sports ramping up this weekend, including Oregon baseball's opener tomorrow on Valentine's Day. We've got Oregon softball game day today. We've also got Oregon acrobatics and tumbling, their season beginning on Saturday. Oregon lacrosse is out to a 2-0 start. Track and field on the indoor side going to 3 different places this weekend. Men's and women's tennis in action. Oh, it's a good time of year, especially when you beat the Dogs. Oregon women's basketball with a dramatic win last night. Dramatic win last night. It was really something to watch and listen to with Chris Clayton on the call. Quite the game. The Deja Kelly Duck Dagger to win it. We'll talk about all that coming up. Here from Kelly Graves, here from Deja Kelly, here from Elisa Mevius. Also, I mentioned Oregon lacrosse head coach Jess Drummond will be with us in the Country Financial Studio today. 2-0 start for Oregon lacrosse. And Melissa Lombardi, Oregon softball head coach. We talked with her in the studio here on Tuesday. We've got her full conversation with the media coming up as the Ducks take on Arizona State in Tempe tonight. It's on ESPN+. And shout out to our friends from the student radio station, KWVA. They made the trip. KWVA 88.1, the student radio station here at the University of Oregon, has the hometown call. Really, at this point, just an extension of the OSN family. Myself, Chris Clayton, who's here in the studio today, products of KWVA. KWVA, go Ducks, Pro Ducks. Love to see it. Love to see it. Talking about Pro Ducks, NFL Combine, a program record 12 members of the 24 Oregon football team have officially received invitations to the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine. It's going to run from February 24th to March 3rd at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. The dozen Ducks invited actually shatters the previous program record of 7, which happened multiple times. 24, 20, 25 now, 12, 09, and 2007. 12 breaking the record of 7. Pro prospects for Oregon football, which is pretty cool. 12 Ducks. Dylan Gabriel, Jordan James, Trayshawn Holden, and Tez Johnson at wide receiver. Tight end, Terrence Ferguson. Offensive lineman, Josh Connerly Jr. and Johnny Cornelius. And then 5 defensive players invited. Defensive lineman, Jordan Birch, Jamari Caldwell, Derek Harmon, linebacker Jeffrey Bassa, and cornerback Jabbar Muhammad. Just the offense tied the record for total players invited to the NFL Combine in one season. Congratulations to the Ducks. The next round of Pro Ducks coming your way. Live coverage of the NFL Scouting Combine gets rolling on February 27th on NFL Network and NFL+. 12 NFL Combine invite sets the stage for another potentially historic NFL draft after a record 8 Ducks were selected in 2024. The 2025 NFL Draft set for April 24th to 26th in Green Bay. That's pretty exciting. Women's basketball, though, what a dramatic game. Kelly Graves, we'll hear from him in a moment, but his first statement at the podium, I just want to reiterate, gotta stop playing these close games at home down the stretch. Oh, my goodness. So 1-point game after the first quarter. Ducks were down at half. outplayed Washington a bit in the third, but it felt like they just couldn't quite burst through. And then they did outscore Washington by 4 in the fourth quarter behind 21 points from Deja Kelly. Elisa Mevius also scored 14. But Deja Kelly, in 38 minutes of play, was outstanding. Peyton Scott, good news, was able to go 13 minutes for the Ducks in this game. Great to see that after the injury scare not long ago. A 1-point win against the Dogs, and when you allow the opponent to shoot 54% in a game and win it, you're doing something right. Ducks won 68-67 on a night where maybe they didn't play their best defense. Still found a way to win against the Dogs. Oregon, I think, is comfortably in the NCAA tournament field right now. I know, looking at the projections, it's like last 4 byes. I think they're comfortably in the field right now. Just looking at the resume, who they've beat, what they've done. Women's basketball with a big-time win. Let's hear from the head coach, Kelly Graves. A communal exhale on the podium, brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Kelly Graves.
Well, we got to stop having these close games at home. I think we've had 2 2-point wins at home and 2 1-point wins now. And, you know, I'm at an age where the cardiac kids can kill me. But I'm just really proud of the team, man. That was a great win. That was a great win. I don't think we played super well, but you know, our kids seem to believe when we're in a close game in the fourth quarter and down the stretch. They believe, and that goes a long way. But I credit Washington. They came in here and played a great game. Tina does an awesome job up there. But anytime you can, beat your rival like we just did, that's a good day. I'm really proud of the team for the hard work. And again, down the stretch, we made the plays.
Things you were discussing over the course of the game, defensively you could have done better, offensively you could have done better. How is the group able to kind of just watch those things, not let that get to them, and maintain some confidence in those clutch moments?
Yeah, well, we've got some experienced players. Lisa's a junior, Deja's a fifth-year senior, Scotty's a fifth-year senior, Nani a senior. They just don't lose their composure late, and they just kind of find a way. We found a way today. That was all we can say, really. I loved our second half intensity defensively. We just picked it up. I thought in the first half we were reactionary. They were comfortable the whole half. And, I thought we came out in that second half and just picked up the tempo a little bit, made them uncomfortable, turned them over, got back in it. And even after they responded and we got down 7 or 8, we didn't quit.
Of heartfelt messages in some of these close games at halftime. What would you tell the team this time? What was the message?
Well, again, I just, it was a normal halftime. We didn't get really animated. I think we just, if you noticed, second half, we did a lot more zone. Second half, we trapped it a lot more, so we tried to make the adjustments that we needed to. Our players, I thought, got downhill. We got to the basket a little bit better. We were far more aggressive. And then I thought what happened and what we were really trying to do is just break their rhythm. They are really good offensively. They got 67 tonight, and that's a lot for us to give up. But at the same time, that's far fewer than they're averaging. They're a very good offensive team. And we just had to break their rhythm. And that's why we kind of went to multiple defenses, a lot more trapping, a lot more aggressiveness, and then picking them up full court.
Deja had 9 points there in the fourth quarter, hit the free throws late, took the charge that got Sellers out of the game. What did she give you down the stretch to kind of help you pull out this game?
Well, that's why we were blessed and excited to get Deja here. She's ready-made, and she's made for these kind of games. This is where she can shine and hits the big free throws, and like you said, the stop. The ball in her hand late in the game. It was funny. I don't know how much time. How much time do we have when we got the ball? Okay, and they wanted to know, well, when should I go? And I said go immediately. I mean, there's no sense in going for the last shot or even late clock because I have that much confidence in our defense. And figured if we can, regardless of when we can score, let's score. I don't care how much we give them at the other end and the defense did it again. A lot of those close wins, how many times have we been in the defensive end? And that's what's carried us. And so, yeah, Deja's, she's a gamer. And I'm she's last couple of weeks has really kind of turned a little bit. And it looks like she's really dialed in and focused.
Coach, this spot in Indy, was that a box you were looking to check, or was that something you were kind of taking for granted? You guys clinched the spot. Is that a milestone for this group or something?
Well, yeah, we made our first ever Big Ten tournament. No, I didn't even know about that. Brielle had said something after the game, but no, we've still got so much to play for. But sure, that's nice. We know we're going to be going back to Indy.
It didn't look great when Peyton limped off last week, but she's back out there tonight. What does that say about her as a person?
Because she's tough as nails. Yeah, Peyton is a gamer. You know, she's going to be sitting up here in this seat one day. She's just that kind of player, person, competitor. She wanted to play. And, you know, I know there were a lot of people and even some around the team thinking that we didn't know if we were going to get her back. But she wanted to play. She was cleared to play. And we, you know, unfortunately had to keep putting her in and out. Conditioning level's not there. But, she came in and did a heck of a job, hit a couple shots, and we need them. In a game like this, you need every one of them.
Coach, I know these close games are probably not good for anybody's ticker that's an Oregon Duck fan out there, but just the way you guys have been able to win so many close games, just what does that mean for you as a coach, especially knowing that down the stretch, Big Ten tournament, potential March Madness, every game is going to be close? What sort of confidence does that give you that this group can handle the pressure down the stretch?
Well, I have a ton of confidence in the team, but they have to have confidence in themselves, and I think they do. I think they know that, you know, when we're down late, we're going to find a way. They've just done that. I'm, again, just proud of the whole team. That shows great character, you know, great character. We could have just kind of folded a couple of times, especially when we got back in it, and then they built the lead, and then we dug back in, and then we make a couple mistakes, and they build that lead, and we just never quit. So hats off to just an amazing group to work with. And I thought my coaching staff did a phenomenal job tonight. I thought the fans were great. It was a real good team victory. And, you know, we got more to do, but in the end, you know, you just count the wins. You don't necessarily, you don't look at how much you beat them by. It's a win in that ledger.
You want to form a team identity. I mean, it seems like your team has such a distinct identity at this point. Some teams will go a whole season and still be struggling to find that out. Just how does that come together? Is this any earlier and later than you might have anticipated? And just what's it like to kind of have a sense for, hey, we know who we are?
Yeah. Well, in some ways we're still searching, though. I mean, we changed the lineup again just a little bit. A little bit was that was to match them. You know, they go that 4-guard offense. But, yeah, I think our identity is one of unselfishness. I think it's one of, on any given night, it's going to be a different player. I thought Elisa stepped up tonight and had a great game herself. And Deja, obviously, Amina came in and did some good things for us. I think Philly had some moments. I thought Philly in the second half, really set the tone offensively for us, kind of got us going. I think we're still searching for it to some degree, but definitely one of defense, one of toughness, one of togetherness. You can see all that come out in close games like this.
How about the free throw shooting? This has been a team that's been kind of up and down there. 15-18, I know they missed one of those late, but needed them and they went down.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, and most importantly, we got to the line 18 times. That's important, and they only got there 4. That's one of our goals. We want to make more free throws than the other team shoots, and we've done that the last few games. But when our free throw numbers are high, that means we're being aggressive.
You talked about the players needing to have some confidence in themselves. I feel like we've been talking about this all season long, but there's still some hesitancy there about pulling the 3. How do you feel the team feels about stretching the floor? Where's their confidence at with that?
Well, if you came and watched us practice, you would see that we encourage it all the time. So, you know, confidence is a funny thing. You know, when you see the ball go in, the hoop gets bigger and bigger, and then sometimes it shrinks if you know, but we always encourage them to, you know, if you're open, you're in range, and you're on balance, let it fly. I mean, I can't get easier than that. So one of these days, it's just going to really click, and this team's going to even take off more. Right now, we're just having to grind them out.
Is your decision-making good? I mean, do you feel comfortable with the shots they are putting up?
Yeah, we had 9 turnovers tonight. That's, I mean, you know, that's getting it done in a high-pressure game like this. And And I think 3 of them were on offensive fouls, just illegal screens or kind of bad body control. So really took care of the ball. We're doing the right things. I think ultimately if you look at us game in, game out, sometimes we just struggle to make a lot of baskets. But we're playing good basketball.
Pulling out a game like this, not only against a conference opponent, but a former conference opponent with a lot of long history between you guys, what does that give you guys going down the stretch as you head towards this final run of games and then finish with UW in the final?
Well, we talked about the home stretch, our March to March now. And, we talked about we have 5 games left, and yeah, every one of them is important. This is a chance for us to get some momentum, to kind of position ourselves for a good seed in the Big Ten tournament, and hopefully a good seed in the NCAA tournament if we're fortunate enough to get there. So, yeah, I think down the stretch, you want to be playing your best basketball.
Is Peyton on any sort of minutes restriction with the brace, or is she fully cleared?
I think she's fully cleared. I wasn't given any minute restriction. She restricted herself because, it takes a little while to get back in it. But I'm just so happy that she's there. Happy for Ari. Ari transferred from Washington. Happy for Katie Fiso. She's from Seattle. Lexi Whitfield is a transfer from Washington as well. So it was nice to see them get a win tonight.
Anytime you beat your rival, it's certainly awesome. But anytime you win a game in dramatic fashion like that, it's awesome, and it can be a building block. But also just not having injuries is a huge deal. Peyton Scott able to play at that level at all. I mean, after the injury history that she has, what she's been through, I think we all held our breath in that moment. Just seeing her out there again is great. Ducks are hopefully getting healthy at the right time. Things are starting to click. Defensively, they're still great. Good things ahead for Oregon women's basketball, and good things behind them, too. We'll talk about the game a little more. Deja Kelly, Elisa Mevius at the podium when we come back. It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union in the Country Financial Studio. I'm Joey Mack. Kelly Graves, a happy Kelly Graves postgame. Also happy when you hit the game winner. Deja Kelly, 21 points. Elisa Mevius, also in double figures. They both met with the media after a dramatic 68-67 win for Oregon women's basketball at Matthew Knight Arena last night.
Stands out from this one?
My body. No, I think our fight overall. You know, we know there's a lot at stake. We know there's a lot that we're still playing for, and postseason goals that we have. So for us to, you know, come out in the second half the way we did, we just knew that we had to have an energy shift and pick it up on the defensive end. Because ultimately it just came down to us getting stops. We knew we would get some things going on offense, but we just had to sit down and get stops, and that's really what it came down to in those last couple of minutes as well.
How difficult was that adjusting at least defensively when down low Washington was really having a lot of success in the paint? What did you guys kind of discuss in that fourth quarter? And how do you guys feel like overall the adjustment was able to kind of help you guys get this win?
Yeah, I mean, we know overall we can defend. You know, we've done it all year, and I think, you know, we just had a few kind of lapses and just mental errors. So I think once we just locked in and we're like, we threw a bunch of different stuff. We tried to trap a little bit, tried to turn them over, just try to get them razzled a little bit and take a little bit tougher shots. And, you know, if they made some tough ones, but we'll live with that. So I think that was just our biggest talk in the huddles and in our own huddles. Like, we were just like, we got to lock down. Whatever we see, let's take it. Like, we can gamble a little bit. We're just trying to be overly aggressive.
Deja, you scored the last 9 points of the game. Took the charge on Sellers that made it go the other way. And just on that play in particular, and then on the offensive end, what were you seeing kind of down the stretch to create those looks and get to the foul line?
Yeah, well, I knew I had to get my get back after I missed my free throw. So I was like, okay, let me make it up on the defensive end. So that's where that charge came in. And honestly, we had to adjust anyway and rotate over because Sellers was getting a lot downhill, and we weren't really rotating like we should. So when I did it, it mattered. So we'll take it and we'll work on it in practice, I'm sure. But yeah, you know, I was just trying to be aggressive. I knew I was able to get downhill, and my shot was falling, and you know, the last couple of minutes, I knew that was just kind of take over time. But ultimately, it just came down to us getting stops and locking in on the defensive end.
Lisa, your identity as a team seems to be so tied to your defense at this point. So when coach says in the second half, hey, we're going to ramp things up, we're going to get aggressive, I wonder if you guys are like, all right, this is who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get after it a little bit.
We talked in halftime about our energy level, and I think when they let us go a little bit more and they tell us to just be aggressive, that kind of feeds into our positive energy. And then, I mean, getting steals, trapping, I think we got a 5-second call. And that was like literally the first time we ever got a 5-second call, like out of bounds under our basket. So just those things, they all just give us so much energy, yeah.
At in a game where it felt like every board, especially down the stretch, mattered. That three at the end, right at the end of the third quarter, felt like it kind of set you guys for success offensively. Just how big was that shot at the end of the third quarter, and where did you feel like the momentum was heading into the final moments?
Yeah, I think I heard everyone scream at me to shoot the ball, so I was just, letting Deja pass it, just like, shoot it! So I was just letting it fly. I think it was really important because the momentum was shifting, and it gave us kind of a little bit of hope, in the late stretch that we can actually win this game and that we need to stick together.
Question for both of you guys really quick. You guys have won a lot of close games, obviously, throughout this season. How much do you guys enjoy these moments to kind of show who you guys are as a team, and at the same time, how much do you maybe wish that maybe you were up by maybe 5 or 10 points in the final 2 minutes of the game?
Yeah, games like these give me a heart attack, man. I'm too old for this. But I think it just shows how resilient we are, especially in the last couple minutes of games, and us being able to pull it out and, again, really lock in on getting stops, really getting the shots that we want in those final minutes. I think we're really detailed and intentional, and I think that's something that has carried us to these close wins that we've had. And I think it also goes a little bit to experience. We've had people that have been in these situations before. I've been in these situations before, so that's the talk that we're having in the huddles, that it relies on player-led leadership, and I think that takes us a long way. But ultimately, in these close wins, it's our defense that has carried us for sure.
You talked about fight earlier. Peyton was lifting off the court a week ago, and she's back out there tonight. What does that do for you guys as a team, and what's she like as a team?
Yeah, I mean, seeing her fight back for the team and try to get back and giving us the minutes that she can, I think it's huge. It shows how committed she is to wanting to play for us and wanting to be there for us too. And we need her. So we're going to need her down the stretch even more. So, of course, we want her to get healthy, but she's huge. She's a huge leader for us, on-court leader. She gives us a lot offensively and defensively. Like, she just brings so much to the team. When a player goes down like that, it hurts the whole team. But to see her back out there and, again, give us what she could and what she did, it's huge for us moving forward.
You went to the line there down 1 with 12 seconds. Then the game's kind of focus? Can you walk us through and kind of set the stage of what that's like and kind of what you're trying to do to, I guess, keep yourself calm? You mentioned almost having a heart attack. That's a pretty emotional situation.
Yeah, it was just, I just knew I had to step up and make. I keep saying it over and over, but I've been in these situations before, so just really, again, using that to my advantage. And I was already mad about the one I had missed prior, so I was like, okay, I got to redeem myself. But yeah, I mean, it was just, it's a focus thing, it's a mental thing. I heard the whole crowd like, shh, like everyone's go silent, but yeah, it's just me in the hoop at that point, and I'm just trying to steal the game.
Would you prefer there was more noise, like a road environment as opposed to a home environment with the game on the line? What's the difference there?
I don't think it really matters. I just thought it was funny that the whole crowd was shushing, but for me, it's just, again, I internally, it's just a focus, and again, a mental focus that it's just me in the basket at that moment.
You could see that she would make him in her eyes. I knew she would make him.
Yeah,
you could see it
at this point.
For both you guys, obviously, there's still plenty of season left, but for both of you, as transfers to Eugene to come for this season, to now obviously clinch a spot in India in the Big Ten tournament, just what is this season meant for you guys, and to already know that you have a spot secured in the Big Ten championship or the Big Ten tournament?
You could say championship.
What is the season meant for you guys, just to this point? So?
We've been talking about that a lot, and I think every game matters so much, especially because you play each opponent once, and not, I mean, Washington we play twice, right? But like the other ones. So the games are so close. Like we talked about, each possession matters, and just having that spot secured is just so big, especially going into the season with injuries and like all these games, traveling so far. So it matters, definitely.
Yeah, Coach keeps telling us it's home stretch, so this is where we really got to double down, and we're really starting to peak a little bit. We have to. So, yeah, we're going to keep moving forward and, again, take it one game at a time because we got a lot more games to play.
Deja, as one of the most experienced players on this team, what are you doing as a leader to try to help the younger players, the less experienced players, as they head into their first time playing March basketball?
Yeah, I'm just trying to talk and uplift as much as I can. I sometimes I forget that we have so many young players and new players that kind of haven't been there before. So as we get closer to that, and even in these games now, you know how much these games matter in order for seeding and different things like that. Just trying to instill that confidence too, and just instill, we have to come out with intensity and energy every game. We can't have these lapses like we have had the past couple games, because against really good teams, it's hard to come back from that. So that's just kind of what I'm trying to, share with my teammates, that confidence, just making sure that everyone just goes into it confident and brings their piece, because everyone 1 through 15 matters. So as long as everyone is locked in on that, and I'm just trying to help everyone stay locked in. Looking forward.
Do you feel that intensity in these games now that we're getting closer to March? And Deja, you can chime in. Do you feel that intensity from the other side of your opponent starting to pick up?
I think at the end, it all comes down to us playing against ourselves with the defense and us all being together and communicating. The game is the same every day. Of course, it gets really tense in those close, point games, but at the end, it's us against us. We have to make the practices harder than the games. That's what we're trying to do. So trying to set that standard for ourselves so that the games aren't as tense anymore.
As a coach with defensive identity, overall identity, the defense is such a critical element of your identity. He pointed out that he's made some lineup changes, so yeah, he's still working with some things in terms of team identity. But it just seems like game in, game out, you guys we know who you guys are going to be, and the kind of the style of game we're in for. What you guys are going to try to get done. Both of you have played a lot of basketball in a lot of different formats. Just is it rare or not to just have such a sense of kind of who you are at this point in the season? And I guess what kind of confidence do you draw from that if it is so?
Yeah, I think a lot. I think us being able to draw back to our defensive identity definitely carries us, and it instills a different type of mindset going into games. Again, I think that was something that was really the primary focus and what we felt we had to get back to, especially we had to drop off in that area the past couple games. And that's who we are. So I think us just remembering that was the talk we were having in huddles today. Like, y'all, we can defend our butts off. Like, we've been here before. So we know, like, what to do. We know how to guard. We know how to get stops. And it was just about us getting down and doing it. So I think that's the biggest thing, being able to have that as our identity, just sets the tone overall. And then, again, it can push for our offense. We can push and transition, and it just helps us with our flow. But, yeah, just us getting down and getting stops, that's our biggest thing.
That's Deja Kelly and Elisa Mevius meeting post-game with the media. Good win over the Dogs. Always good to beat the Huskies. When we come back, a great start to the season for Oregon Lacrosse and its Oregon softball game day. Hear from both head coaches first. Jessica Drummond, Oregon Lacrosse head coach, after a 2-0 start. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
Duck Insider, Duck Insider, Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We're in the Country Financial Studio. Jess Drummond, Oregon Lacrosse head coach. It is great to have you in the studio. All right, inside the broadcast, there's obviously some winter weather around the Eugene community. The Oregon Lacrosse team still practicing today. Jess Drummond was prepared, ready to get Pape Field in pristine condition.
Yep.
Is there a part of you with where you grew up that you're like, there's some white powder around Eugene?
Oh, yeah. I woke up and I was like, snow day. This is the best. The best.
How often did school get canceled for you, though?
Oh, never.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Okay,
never.
When
I got those texts, I was like, this campus is closed. I was like, what? Yeah. It's like a little inch.
But you're here?
I'm here.
We're
here. We're all here.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great to have you. 2-0 start to the season for Oregon Lacrosse. And with that, I want to say a lot going on, so thanks for taking the time to still chat with us. 1 week in the books. What'd you see from your team?
A lot of grit, heart, and just passion. And so that's been really rewarding to see that going into this year of knowing that we are going into a bigger competition with the Big Ten, and to see them perform at that level from the start. That start against Butler was epic. It was like, we are Oregon Lacrosse, and they're fully demonstrating that on the field.
Did we see the identity of this team? Is there such a thing, first of all, as like an identity of a team?
I would think so. I think, they work so hard at practice, so to be able to see them do that in the game and take what they do in practice and to perform at that next level, that's always rewarding to see as a coach and for them.
Now, the Butler game, you talk about the first half, the great start.
Yep.
What about defensively? What did you see from your team defensively there?
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a shutout, 0 goals in a half. That's insane.
That's hard to do.
Really hard to do. And it was Paige's first time ever doing that. So just a lot of accomplishments and pride holding down Pape. So I think that was really exciting.
That's a mantra that you have been proud of. But,
yes.
I mean, you say I know, but
I know.
but it's a big deal to you.
It is. It is a huge deal. It is in my core, and we talk about it, alumni of like Pape, this is our field. Anyone who steps on it, just respecting our turf. The that's on that field.
How many alumni did you hear from last week?
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
So many. All watching them.
Very proud.
Yeah, there was a bunch in the stands too, all decked out in this matching duck gear. Yeah.
We need the photos.
Oh, I have them. I will. I'll give proof.
I like that. Jessica Drummond talking with us. Okay, so that was game one.
Mm-hmm.
And then on behalf of all Duck fans everywhere, thank you for giving us a long lunch with an 11 a.m. matinee for Oregon Lacrosse. What'd you see in the Stetson game?
Just similar vibes to Friday against Butler. I felt like we were more connected. We have that grit, and we talked about wanting to win the ground ball stat, and we won it by a lot. So that was huge. To me, that's the hustle. It's getting the 50-50, going that extra effort to make sure that we get that stat.
Anna Simmons
Mm-hmm.
had a Big Ten weekly honor. Now, so there's a caveat to this, okay? So she wins the midfielder of the week honor in the Big Ten, based only on what she did in the Butler matchup, just with the way that the schedule worked out. Arguably had a better performance
Definitely,
on Tuesday. I was trying to be nice.
I know, it's fine. When you tie a program record of single goals in a game, which my sister holds that record.
Okay.
I know, and I am like, let's beat it. Let's beat it.
Okay, so I'm so glad you brought that up because scored 7 goals, and you look in the record book, and it's 2025 Anna Simmons, and then Jenna Drummond.
Yeah. Not just Jenna.
So,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was really
did you
close
talk with her?
Yeah, I did. I was like, and she was like, "What? Someone hasn't beat that yet?" I was like, "That's my mentality too." I'm like, "Let's beat this. Let's get it." So.
And how fun is that though for you? I mean,
so exciting.
We've had a couple, I know, opportunities to talk about things like that, but that's kind of fun.
So fun. So fun. Yeah, I was like, Anna, that's my sister holding that record. I'm like, you can do it. She's like, oh, I'm gonna do it. So yeah.
And then
the Tide alumni piece. It's so special.
Yeah. That's fun. And again, like defending Pape,
Yeah.
right? This all kind of factors into it. So you're a happy coach after week one is what I'm taking away.
Yeah. We still, there's always things to take away from, to work on. And, I want it to be a consistent 60 minutes, which is hard to do, but I think this team can do that.
All right. We got more coming then. I did want to go back, though, and ask you a little bit about Anna Simmons. The pressure, certainly based on the offseason and just the expectation, it seems like she's handled it well.
Yeah.
How has she handled it so well?
She just watching her play at practice is just another level, and to be able to do that all the time and every drill, every moment, it doesn't surprise me come game day that she's so confident, because she gets it done in practice, and she's consistent, and she's relentless, and she's just so resilient that, to me, she defines what it is to be a captain for this team. And I know that her teammates look up to her, they respect her, they all want to be her. So that is so contagious on a team, and I have goosebumps thinking about how she leads us.
Leadership trickling down. What'd you see from the rest of your roster? Anybody else that stuck out to you?
Yeah, so many, and it was so exciting. Jaden Ling had 3 cost turnovers on Tuesday. Something that we've been really working with her on, and Cece with the defense of like getting those clean checks and coming up those ground balls. Jaden and I have been joking because we've been having her pick up a ground ball lefty. She's a true righty, so picking up a ground ball in your non-dominant hand is a little bit more challenging, and she kind of had a couple of oops in practice, but then in come game day she was like, Coach, did you see that? I did that left hand. I was like, I saw it, and I know I see it. That was amazing. And Avery Young just stepping up and showing out, so that was exciting.
Also, just a quick aside, on behalf of all Duck fans, Baby Duck.
Oh, Baby Duck.
We have a new Baby Duck that was in attendance. The onesie was great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Onesie was great.
Yep. Baby Duck's there.
Did you pick that out, or was it like, no, you were sent it by 5,000 people?
I was sent it by 5,000 people. I have one in like every size as he gets older. I know.
Great.
I'm so excited.
3 years old in the Duck.
He's got his outfit. He knows what to wear.
That's phenomenal. See, this is what it's all about. You talk about the family environment around a team, and now after seeing it for 1 week, I feel like your team embraces that, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I know. I'm just so proud of them. And another thing I meant to talk about too is we've been doing really well in the draw controls. Jenkins has been really stepped up in that asset for us too, which has been great.
Jessica Drummond with us. Now looking ahead, Columbia, Saturday, noon. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Matinee.
Great midday.
Good scheduling, Coach.
Thank you.
Good scheduling.
Thank you. Fired up.
What's the report on Columbia?
It's going to be a mystery because they're an Ivy. They don't start until February 1st is their first official practice. So they've got film on us, and we've got to just, stick to who we are and show up like we've been showing up.
It's on Big Plus, noon start time on Saturday. Here's hoping that a few Oregon baseballs end up near Pape Field. That'd be a few home runs for Duck baseball.
Great, cool.
We've got the overlapping events. You get to go to both Pape Field and PK Park at the same time, where parking is always free. Coach,
nice.
What else? Anything else people should know?
No, fire it up. Let's go.
All right.
2-0.
Jess is always a great time for all of us. And the record book.
Where's this going?
The record book note. I'm just so glad that you are a coach that can embrace the fun of record books and Anna Simmons and Jenna Drummond.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Thanks. We appreciate you.
Right back at you.
Jess Drummond, Oregon Lacrosse, 2-0 start to the season. Going for 3-0 on Saturday at noon against Columbia. All right, we're going to get a timeout. When we come back, it's Oregon Softball Game Day here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle.
Or forget extra diapers.
You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack here with you inside the Country Financial Studio. Oregon Softball Game Day coming up. Oregon, after a 5-0 start to the season, the Ducks traveling to Tempe, traveling to Phoenix. And a fun fact, Oregon set a record for the amount of runs scored in a 5-game stretch with a 73-run total. When the Ducks throw the first pitch against Arizona State tonight, it will also be a program record for the amount of runs scored in a 6-game stretch. Just by throwing the first pitch tonight at 5 o'clock against Arizona State. The Ducks will also face North Dakota in Tempe, Weber State, Utah Valley, and Grand Canyon, along with Belmont over the course of this entire tournament in the state of Arizona. And earlier this week, Coach Lombardi broke down where the Ducks are as she met with the media getting ready for softball tonight at 5 o'clock.
Talked about last week about getting off to a hot start. You guys started off 5-0, scored 73 runs. I mean, just what were your takeaways about what your team did well, and then maybe some things that you still want to try to work on heading into this weekend?
We've just been talking a lot about the ability to start fast, stay fast, finish fast, and I thought they just showed that all weekend long, especially at the end of the weekend. At the end of the week and start to feel things a little bit, and I thought they did a really nice job Sunday sticking to that.
How'd you felt that they were able to keep up that energy heading into Sunday, especially with some of the earlier games as well?
I think just understanding that Sunday I just always feel like Sunday is your toughest day of the tournament because of just the previous games that you've played, and just us understanding that and really making an emphasis to push a little bit more on that day collectively, I think was important.
Were those offensive records even in the thought process of the coaching staff that this is something that team could do over a 5-game span?
Not really. I mean, I don't know. Just with the record stuff, we don't really get caught up in that. I think just the whole start fast is what we wanted to do. And can you start fast and then stay with it versus sometimes you get a lot of runs and then you just cruise. And I thought they did a good job of not cruising and just staying on it. So it was nice to see them put up those runs. I would love for them to continue that.
How big was it to see the offense come from a combination of the freshmen and the veterans like Kai and Keidru Lushar?
It was really nice just because I look at last year and we have 2 full starters from last year, and then Katie Flannery got in towards the middle of the end. And so you just go into the season knowing what we've been doing at practice, but then just anxious to see what it's going to look like when we all come together. So I just loved how they came together. You could see that they loved to play with each other. You could see that we have the ability to score and win ball games in multiple ways, which I think is going to be really important as we continue with our schedule.
You spoke really highly of the freshman class leading up to obviously last weekend's series. How impressed were you just from what they were able to do from this past weekend all together as a group?
Yeah, I was impressed. I thought they did a good job. Them and even some of our other returners had some little jitters just early on, which I think is expected. But you could just see what I really appreciate is that they love to play the game and they love to compete. And it's the freshmen, and I think it's even just our entire group. So just to watch those 2 things is something that was pretty cool.
You've obviously recruited a ton of freshmen, obviously, in your career here. Just where does this particular group rank in your eyes? Just what you've seen in practice, and just, I mean, I know it's only the first 5 games, but just what they were able to do, right out of the get.
They remind me of a young freshman group from some years ago that did really, really good things at the end of the year. That's what that's what I think about with them.
How do you feel about the execution in the circle? Because obviously it's some high points, some pretty nice performances, but when things got away a little bit there a couple of times, it also got away. So just how do you feel about the execution in the circle as a whole?
For the most part, pretty good. I think the weekend was just a tough weekend of us trying to find specific zones. When they found it, I thought they did well, and then when we didn't, I thought we gave things away. So just cleaning that up a little bit. But as far as just what their ability and what they're capable of doing, and the fact that they can change speeds, I liked that a lot.
Is that maybe the area you want to focus on most, seeing improvement this weekend, more in the circle than necessarily offensively? Because again, did a lot of really good things offensively. I suppose you always yearn for better, but hard to go much higher than what you just did. So is the circle kind of the area that's an area to focus on this weekend?
For sure. I would think, as far as like giving up hits and things like that were just very minor. It's just free passes that we got to clean up.
What do you think of Emma's performance behind the plate as a catcher, just what she was doing with the pitch calling and just her work in her first 5 games?
I thought she did a really nice job. There's specific things that she's just been really focusing on this January, and just to see it all come to light in the games. And again, I think just getting into the game, that competitor piece comes out, and you could see that once she got into the game, she just started just playing and just playing really free. I love the way she swung the bat. I think she does a great job of working with our pitchers, and also just what she does behind the plate. You could see we had a big pick against UNLV that would have really would have been a difference maker. We would have been out of the inning with that, just didn't go our way, but you could see that she has the ability to throw out runners as well.
Speaking of the freshman, kind of that pick, the play, you're talking about nerves often get in the first couple of games or whatever, but the defense was really, really crisp. As fast as they play, because they are fast, but there was only the one error. Speak to that, if you could, about, how that kind of plays into what you're looking for.
I think it's important. Like I said, you have a shortstop and a left fielder that were on the field all last year. So everybody else on the field is new or had some, didn't have as many opportunities. So to see a group come together that's new, and perform the way they did. I thought that was really, really important for us to like start. I think that was defensively something that we really needed to do from the start, is set the tone defensively and for them to see what they're capable of doing together. And I just think the more reps they get, the better understanding they have of playing it next to each other and with each other and all that. So I was pleased.
I do want to touch on Paige just because, from her game, she's not known as a power hitter, but in the last couple of years, she's only had 2 home runs for the season. She had 2 in the first 5 games. How much did you watch her maybe, potentially practicing in the batting cages? I mean, I don't feel like we've seen a span like that from her so early on. And should we expect maybe more home runs from Paige throughout the season?
I think so. She's worked extremely hard on her offense. I mean, she works hard on everything, but I think there's some things that she's figured out this year that are going to go a long way for her. So I liked where she was in the order. I liked the opportunity for her to bunt for a hit, but then also be able to hit the ball deep like that and on a line. So I think for her to be able to do those 3 things, it opens up her game offensively for sure.
Oregon softball in action later on tonight, 5 o'clock in Tempe. It's on ESPN+. The hometown call on KWVA. Oregon taking on Arizona State. Familiar face. Good competition tonight as the Ducks get a power conference opponent in the non-conference slate. When we return, Oregon baseball starting on Valentine's Day. We're talking with Jacob Walsh after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I can envision the whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back at the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon baseball, a Valentine's Day opener tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Early happy hour at the ballpark. Then you still got time for that romantic dinner reservation if you don't want to share a hot dog in a romantic way at PK Park. Jacob Walsh has been one of the best Oregon has had hitting the long ball. Program record for home runs heading into this year, decided to come back, and he met with the media previewing the Oregon baseball season. Jacob Walsh.
Talking to Waz and some of your teammates, the excitement's pretty palpable as Friday approaches, given the talent you have and the potential for this team. What are the sorts of things you guys have to sort out these next few weeks to play to your ceiling over the course of the season?
It's a new year, a new group of guys, but we're just going to play Duck baseball, and usually good things happen when we can do that.
Can you walk us through the draft process last year and what kind of led you to come back, and what was that like?
Yeah, playing for WAS and this program is pretty awesome, and I went into it, they were going to have to give me something to take me away from here, and we didn't come to an agreement, and so I told them I wanted to come back and play for WAS again.
What are the things you're working on to try to get to, back to the draft and get a higher slot?
Not much, just win ball games this year. Good things will happen.
What is this? Obviously, 2 straight super regional appearances. What does this team have juice-wise to get you back to that spot and put you over the hump to Omaha?
I mean, we have a pretty similar lineup. We lost Bennett and Bryce over there that played every day, and so, looking at that, it's weird. There's not much changes. We had a lineup last year that went to the super regional and competed, and we're gonna have one this year that does that too.
Era of college sports where there's a lot of player movement. What's it like to look around the locker room and see so many familiar faces, to presumably bring back a bunch of chemistry with some guys around the infield, all that?
It's great. It's something a lot of big schools can't say that they have, and we're going to just try to use that to our advantage.
What have you seen from some of the transfer guys on offense, like Parker? What have you seen from him?
Yeah, everyone's solid. When we bring guys in here, they're solid. They can play. Lineup-wise, I don't know what it's going to look like, but just know everyone in that lineup is going to be able to play, and everyone sitting that bench is going to be able to play also.
With the staff, what have you kind of seen facing those guys in lives? Is there someone who really sticks out to you that's made some considerable strides this year?
Our whole staff's going to be pretty solid. We got guys from freshmen to seniors that are going to pitch, well-rounded staff. I'm excited to see what they can do this year.
And he's faced him a lot, Jacob Walsh has, in practice. The Ducks getting ready for the opener. Grayson Grinsell gets the ball in game 1. Colin Clark, a familiar face who figures to have a bigger role in the starting rotation this year, will be pitching in the doubleheader on Saturday. And then the Ducks have a couple new faces that you're going to see on the mound in the second game on Saturday and on Sunday. 4 games to start the season. Oh, it's going to be good to be back at PK Park. 3 o'clock against Toledo on Friday. Doubleheader beginning at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Ballpark food. Noon on Sunday as well. Duck basketball. Both teams in action this weekend. A lot to cover. Chris Clayton with you tomorrow. See you then.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the ad